Now start building it a little bit. Let's get started with the basics of the common Santa Claus experience, okay? Here we go. The sight and the sound of Santa. What does Santa look like? Okay, that's not a rhetorical question, folks, okay? I'm going to ask it one more. Listen, I'll help you out. I'll stand over here. This is going to be a long night. What does Santa look like? Now, let me give you a quick rundown of how I got started in this whole thing to begin with. I got started when I was a junior at St. Francis de Sales High School down in Delaware, where I grew up. I think one of them, at de Sales, we used to have a Christmas party for inner city kids from Wilmington. I think one of the nuns had a relative or something who was a social worker in the city, probably. So anyway, Big John had done Santa for 3 straight years. And here it is his senior year. He doesn't want to do it anymore. Well, yeah, come on, you can't force someone to be Santa if he doesn't want to do it. So they asked me to do it. Why, I hear you ask? Okay, excuse me. Why, I hear you ask? Why? I am so glad you asked why. And I trust you're going to be just a little bit quicker on the pickup next time, okay? Okay. No, we got you, okay? So be ready. Why did they ask me? I was the next fattest kid in the school. Come on, that was it. Fatness was the only criteria. Come on, you know what high school's like. If you're tall, it's assumed you're going to play basketball. If you're fat, they'll assume you do Santa Claus. If you're a cheerleader, it's assumed, okay, I'm going to stop right there. Okay? I have come to realize over the years that the only thing Santa has got to have is the beard. Or as I refer to it most of the time, that freaking beard. Okay? Now, confession. I cannot grow a beard. Okay? I used to be really insecure about having to wear a fake beard. I mean, yes, there's so many real bearded Santas running around. They used to intimidate the hell out of me. Now, I don't mean to be saying anything bad about the real bearded Santas, okay? For the most part, they are a great group of guys, take their Santa Clausing very seriously. The ones I know personally, they buy wholeheartedly into my very simple, just keep them believing philosophy, okay? Now, I said I used to be intimidated by them. Then, one year, I got hired by a mall lady to do a breakfast with Santa gig at the mall. She had 2 real bearded guys working center court for her, but neither one of them wanted to do the breakfast gig, so she hired me. She followed me all around during the gig. And when it was over, she handed me my check and said, I want you to do center court for me too. I looked at her like she was crazy. I said, what are you talking about? You got 2 real bearded guys down there now. She says, yeah, they look great. But you really are Santa. I got educated that day. And I'm passing it on to you right now. Okay? There was something way more important than the look. And when you think about it, Santa has one identifiable sound. And that sound is so identified with Santa. Little kids learn how to say this before they can even say Santa or Christmas or anything like that. And of course, that sound is ho, ho, ho. Correct! Ho, ho, ho. I mean, how can you screw up ho, ho, ho? Easy. People screw it up all the time. And it's okay if people screw it up. But as Santa, you have to learn how to do that right. Because that sound done right is the key to becoming Santa. Strong suggestion number 1. Never let a kid breathe directly into your face. Okay? Some of these little suckers got breath that could knock a rat off a cheese store dumpster. I have very nearly tossed my cookies several times. It helps if you can be a mouth breather. Santa Claus has power. Use that power to make sure everybody takes the time to stop and smell the Christmas cookies, okay? Including you. Oh my God, especially you. Relax. Have some fun. Play around with Christmas a little bit. I mean, okay. Take the whole cookies and milk thing. You can't mess around with that, now can you?
No. Good care
Oh, I just totally went off one day on the whole cookies and milk thing. I don't know what came over me. This little boy, and by the way, I had been doing Santa Claus over 30 years at this point. But this little boy asks me what kind of cookies I want him to leave me. Been asked this at least 100 times each year. All of a sudden, out of my mouth pops, coconut macaroons. You know, I love coconut macaroons. Nobody ever leaves me coconut macaroons. So will you leave me some coconut macaroons, please? And of course, the little boy goes, yeah. And then the mom spoke up. She had this, what the hell just happened? Look on her face. And she says to me very slowly, Santa, I don't know how to make coconut macaroons. And gives me this, get back on track, buddy, look. Then we go from there, and we go into the premature babies area. Now, why does Santa visit premature babies? It's for the parents. Baby's first Christmas is so very special for every family. And for these folks, I mean, it's really crappy that on their first Christmas together, the baby is like 1, maybe 2 pounds, hooked up like a home theater system. There's wires going everywhere and sitting in these little environmental chambers. The hospital has somebody with a camera following me around so that they can take the pictures and give them to the parents so that in future years, the parents can show the kids that even on their very first Christmas, Santa visited them. That's really cool. You know all that stuff I just told you about Francis de Sales? Okay. I'm pretty sure all of that was on a poster in Sister John Carroll's after-school detention room. I had ample opportunity to look at that sucker many times. But it became very meaningful to me, and very important to me, and very useful. Because what I'm really asking you to do is to take the ordinary job of being Santa and do it extraordinarily well. And what does that mean? That means do whatever you gotta do to keep them believing. And that's it. Thank you.